How's it going, everyone? It's Matt Deeks here with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a great day today. I found a pretty cool interview that IGN did with someone from Saber Interactive, and I'll reveal that in just a second. But I want to go into this interview in a little further detail, guys. They go over a lot of cool details, and the interviewer asks the interviewee many good questions about siege mode, dreadnoughts, future seasons, and all that fun stuff, guys. So the interviewer, who is Wesley, sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, and I'm going to link this article down below. Always give credit where credit is due, so I will link the article down below. But this is by Wesley Yin Poole, who works at IGN, and he's interviewing a guy by the name of Tim Willits, and he's the Chief Creative Officer at developer Saber Interactive. So he's right in the thick of it. Tim. So this should be a pretty cool interview, guys. So let's get started. I'm going to be taking some excerpts from this and kind of giving my take, but really cool. I didn't read all of it. I read a little bit and I'm like, you know what? I gotta record this and I gotta share it to my my followers here. So let's get into this, guys. If you're liking the video, and if you want to keep updated with Space Marine 2 news, everything Siege Mode, Horde Mode, skins, cosmetics, new maps, please leave a like, please subscribe, and please share. Okay, guys, with that, let's get started. All right, I'm just going to get started here, guys. So, IGN. So this is the interviewer asking the question here. In siege mode, do we play as unnamed Marines who failed to extract from Kadaku, like the ones during the campaign, perhaps who died? Okay, so interesting question. He was basically asking, are we playing as unnamed Space Marines, or are we playing with named Space Marines that we know? So then Tim answers, everyone will get to play with their existing operations PvE Space Marines. Okay, so if you're So if you have, level 25, fully prestiged bulwark, you'll be able to play with that bulwark with all the perks and the weapons unlocked for siege mode as well, guys. And again, siege mode is their name for horde mode, okay, guys? So horde mode, siege mode, I'm using them in the same context here. He goes on to say, with all of their already unlocked gear and progression. Okay, so just like I said, yep. Those who have not leveled their characters up to level 25 will therefore be able to progress in siege mode the same way they would with regular operations. So that's cool, guys. So if you have a class that you have not yet upgraded to level 25 and you don't want to play operations anymore, or you need a break from operations, you will be able to unlock more levels through siege mode. Okay, guys? All right, IGN goes on to say, does siege mode take place at a certain point in the campaign, or is it entirely separate? Does it continue the story by following on from the campaign? All right, so Tim answers, siege mode is adjacent to the events of the campaign. Okay, this is where, guys, I have not read this far in, so I'm interested as well. I'm learning this for the first time, just like you guys, as it takes place on the first planet we visit, Kadaku. Okay, yeah, but isn't directly linked to it in the same way operations are. Okay, as the events of siege mode don't directly influence the campaign. Okay, so it's kind of running alongside the campaign, alongside operations. Okay, IGN, do we see new areas of Kadaku in siege mode? That's been a question I've been asking. That's been a question I guess a lot of people have been asking, and I've seen some fans of the game upset that we're not seeing a new map. So let's see. Tim answers, yes and no. Technically, it's not a new area of Kadaku, okay? Titus and his squad go through this Imperial fortress during the first mission of the game to reactivate an antenna. I remember this mission. And allow for an orbital cannon to fire on the Tyranid hive ship. Okay, our role in siege mode is to defend this fortress, but we do not get to visit it. Okay, so I guess we're in an area we've been through before, but we won't be able to go to the fortress. Okay, I'll be curious to know a little more about that. I want to learn a little more about that right there. But IGN goes on to say, what is the big new mech we see in the teaser trailer? Okay, so I think Do we get to pilot? I think IGN is referring to Dreadnought by Mech. Let's see here. Tim says it is Brother Valtis. Okay, the mighty redemptor Dreadnought from the Ultramarines, second company. Okay, so yeah, so IGN's referring to Dreadnought as the mech. All right. Players won't be able to pilot it. Okay, that was a big question I had, guys. A lot of people had this question. Will you be able to pilot it? Okay. All right. But so players won't be able to pilot it, but they'll be able to call him as reinforcement throughout their siege. Guys, I swear, maybe they're watching my videos. Go back, I don't know when it was, a few months ago. I created a Horde Mode wish list, and literally one of my wishes were for us to be able to call down a Dreadnought. I mean, that's been a wish for a lot of fans, so I'm sure they didn't watch me, but maybe they did, guys. Who knows? Okay, so very cool. Able to call down, similar to Call of Duty, where you call down like a strike force. Very cool, man. I like that. Piloting it would be cool, but again, this is, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, not Dreadnought 2, right? So I get it. Maybe in the future they'll add it in. IGN, do Tyranid and Chaos enemies mix in the same wave, or are they separated by waves? I've had this question, guys. Tyranid and Chaos waves will come separately. Okay, cool. I wonder if, I've always had an idea. I wonder if we will get like a indicator of what's coming next, kind of like because I play a lot of TD games, tower defense games in my spare time. Shout out to Balloons. But, and they always give an indicator on what's next. I wonder if they'll give an indicator, and you can kind of like prepare for that. IGN, do you plan any new enemy types or unique bosses for Siege Mode? Season 4, I believe, is due a new enemy, okay? They go on to say, Tim goes on to say, Siege Mode won't release with a new enemy, but all existing ones will be there, okay? So we know all the existing ones. Only mission-specific bosses like the Hive Tyrant from the Decapitation mission and the Trigon from Exaltation won't be in Siege Mode, okay? But yet we get the Bio Titan. That's interesting. However, we can already say that the new enemies will bring with future updates, like the ones scheduled with Season 4, will be added to Siege Mode. All right, cool. IGN. So far, I'm liking this, guys. IGN, how exactly does each wave ramp up difficulty? Okay, Tim. More Minoris and Majoris enemies, more Extremis, and more Terminus bosses as well. Sometimes several bosses at once. Oh, man. It gets very hectic. All right, I cannot wait. And again, guys, this is iteration 1 of it. I'm sure they'll update it as we go on. Okay, let's go on. IGN, are there online leaderboards or ranking for Siege Mode? No. Okay, straight up, all good. IGN, are there any Siege Mode exclusive rewards? Tim, there will be unique Siege Mode exclusive cosmetic rewards for players to unlock, the same way we introduce rewards for completing missions in absolute difficulty. Okay, for instance, Siege Mode will also reward players with armory data, requisition points, and XP depending on their performance. Okay, so I guess we'll get some unlockables there, some cosmetic rewards that are specific to Siege Mode, so that's always good. IGN, can you explain the considerations behind sticking to 3 players for Horde Mode? Now, guys, this is something I really wanted. I really wanted 4 players. My usual gaming buddies are I have 4 of them, and we always squad up, with 4 players, as I'm sure a lot of people do. So it kind of sucks that we're in 3, but it is what it is. Look, beggars can't be choosers, and I'd rather Siege Mode with 3 people than no Siege Mode. You know what I'm saying? Tim goes, as we've mentioned in the past interview, sticking to 3 players for PvE game modes, including Siege Mode, has to do with the challenge we're able to provide. And specifically, the enemies we're able to throw at you and your friends. Having 4 Space Marines together for a PvE mission simply made it too easy, and scaling enemy assault to justify bringing a 4th player was too great of a challenge. All right, look, that's a good answer. I'm going to take my criticism back. That's a good answer. Do I think it still could be done? I think, anything's possible. There's many Horde-esque modes like, Call of Duty Zombies that have 4 players and, a bunch of enemies. So do I think it's possible? Yeah, but it is what it is. That's a fair excuse there. IGN, could you expand on Siege Mode to include more than 3 players in the future. Many players are asking for this. Okay, so Tim goes, we don't have such plans. Okay. Sorry, guys. We don't have such plans at this time. Okay, all right, so seems like I'm not alone with wanting 4 players. I respect that. IGN, the recent 12-player mod got a lot of attention. Can you say if there are any plans to expand the number of players in co-op for Space Marine 2? Okay, Tim goes, there are. I mean, he's kind of answering the same question. There aren't, but that's the perfect opportunity for us to give a shout out to our very passionate, talented modding community. We can't wait to see what they'll be to create with everything Siege Mode gives them. All right. And if you guys don't know, I believe Saber Interactive released, again, I'm not a tech guy, but they released like the mechanics or the back end availability to modders. So that specifically that Saber uses. So kind of cool. Gives the modder, not me, but gives the modders tools like the developers use. IGN, has the development team worked on class conflicts for PvE? Some players are reporting it happening less frequently, but I hadn't seen an announcement change. Okay, then Tim goes on to say, we did introduce tweaks to the matchmaking system with our Trigon update last April, which made it less likely to be matched with players of the same class. I got that issue a lot, and I've seen it seems to be fixed, guys, for at least for me. All I can speak is for myself, and we have seen fewer and fewer reports about this issue. We'll continue to monitor. Okay, great. That's great. I've seen a big improvement with that. I play a lot of Vanguard and Tactical, and I was just getting absolutely laced with the same class. So I would always have to back out or try to convince the other guy to switch, or I would have to switch. But so I believe they fixed that, at least for me, or it's less common at least. Let's see how long this is. All right, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. This is so far really good. You've said Space Marine 2 will receive a new class. Can you provide an update on when that might arrive and tease what the class will be? All right, lots of speculation, guys. Who are we getting here? Tim, there is indeed a new class in the works, but we'll need a few more weeks before we're ready to share more info, so stay tuned. Guys, what do you think the new class is going to be? I have my ideas, but I won't say anything right now, but I have my ideas, guys. What else can players expect for Season 4? Tim, in addition to the new DLCs for Season Pass owners coming with Siege Mode, the White Scars Chapter Pack, and Blood Angel Cosmetic. So all my Blood Angel boys, we're getting something. Season 4 will bring a new game mode for PvP, okay, a new Chaos enemy, and a heap of small tweaks to class perks. Absolute difficulty, or the ability to fight as a shieldless Bulwark, okay, with the Thunderhammer. All right, so shout out to Bulwark now being able to be shieldless. That's cool. There's more to it, but you'll have to wait a little longer. All right. That's a cool picture right there. Shout out to that picture. IGN, as we approach the end of Year 1 roadmap, can you say when Season 4 comes out to an end, what players can expect in terms of support and new content? Can players expect future seasons, a second season pass? Tim, our exact plans for the future of Space Marine 2's post-launch support are still being ironed out at this time, but we're ready to commit. But we're already committed to supporting it beyond our Year 1 roadmap. We've got new missions, new weapons, and a new class currently in the works, on top of which are many more surprises we have yet to announce. We have a lot for players to be excited about for the Emperor. Okay. So guys, take this what you will, and shout out to Wesley Yin Pool at IGN, if I'm saying that right. If I'm not, my biggest apologies. And thank you for Tim for answering all these questions. I feel like that answered quite a bit of at least my questions. But anyways, guys, appreciate you guys watching. If you stuck to the end here, check out the link down below if you want to read it in further depth. That was very quick there. But anyways, guys, I appreciate it. Very excited for Siege Mode. But let me know what you guys think of this down below, positive or negative. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.